Let's go. Week 5 of the Pickoff from Covers. Josh Ingles, joined this week by the one and only Neil Parker, your bartender's favorite bartender. Thanks for joining, pal. I'm 3-1. I've taken down Osborne. I've taken down Metler 2 times. If you lost less than 6 units last week, you could have beat me.
Yeah, it's going to be tougher this week, I hope, bud.
Yeah, it was tough sledding, but at the end of the day, I didn't want to lose the challenge. Here's the premise of the show. 2 guys battle Tuesday to Friday, 3 baseball picks each. The guy with the least amount of units has to do their punishment that we spin on Tuesday. That's today. So let's do a quick recap. Last week was an absolute beatdown by both guys, but I won the war of attrition and got less beatdown. Joe Osborne took a big beating there, but we'll take it. We take a W no matter how it comes. His punishment last week was 25 laps, walking, raw dog, and at the end of the day, in the sunshine, Neil, right? No wife, no children.
He's not working.
Our lines of punishment are blurring.
Yeah, like it sounds like a vacation to me. Just alone with your own thoughts in the sunshine, beautiful day, little stroll, soft.
Nick Porto in the chat saying Peyton Tolley lost 5 miles an hour off his four seam as the game went on last week. He went pretty deep in that game for a guy who doesn't usually go deep, but I still think that Boston can quiet the Toronto Bats after they just went nothing yesterday. Suarez with 1 hit allowed over 8. That bullpen is rested, and after firing everybody, maybe there's a fire under the butts of the Bo Sox. Let's get to Joe's punishment video here. And watch a man walk for over 2 hours while having to pee, apparently. So fire it up, Joe.
All right, a bet's a bet, and I lost the bet, meaning I had to walk 25 consecutive laps around this track. No music, bad. No podcast, no scrolling, social media. We're on the honor system. Who knows what kind of sick thoughts will enter my head. 25 is going to be a real challenge. Let's go, boys. All right, official time and step count before I take my first step of the 25 laps. It is 2:32. Up until this point, I have 5,283 steps in. Let's go. All right, 1 lap officially down. We're feeling vigorous, boys. All right, on lap number 5, nice day to be out for a stroll. No issues yet. However, I do feel an urge to urinate. Now, there is a wooded area behind me, but it's the middle of the afternoon on a Monday. Peeing in the woods on a Monday afternoon is something you get arrested for. So stay tuned, this could be an issue. Looks like I've been joined by a couple of senior citizens out here on the track today. They had a little dog, and he did use the bathroom, and they picked up after him. That was nice to see. People who do not do that should be ashamed of themselves. Now, the plus EV way to do this is you stick to the edge of the track, especially around these corners. All right, we're into lap 15, and I'm not going to pretend like this is overly physically demanding, something that a lot of people don't know about me. I made my junior high soccer team without even trying out. No previous soccer experience either. By the way, a lot of great World Cup coverage coming up over at covers.com. A lot of great stuff already there. All right, boys, about to enter lap number 20 right now, and the bathroom situation has become dire. 1 more lap to go, baby. Let's go. 25 laps officially complete. All right, around 110 minutes of walking, close to 13,000 steps. All right, from a physical standpoint, not overly difficult. Feet are a little bit sore right now. Bladder is about to burst, so congratulations to Jingles. I'll get you next time. I got to get home before I humiliate myself or have some sort of medical emergency. I'll get you next time.
Now, the real challenge here, Neil, is how long, because you do the same thing I do, how long do you think you could sit down for and stay in a chair?
Well, it would depend on, it would be the same problem Joe had. You know, am I pounding the coffee and waters to me? Or, you know, if I kind of stay off the water and coffee, I could sit for quite some time in a comfortable chair. But I also worry about my feet getting tingly and go like
I could do a sub 100 step day, no problem.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. Yes, absolutely. But
I think the punishments are going the other way. People are like, look at me get fit, like watch me run really far. Where you're like, no, like watch me get fat and lazy. That's the hard part.
Well, if you're close to the restroom and the fridge, you don't need very many steps.
No, I could think sub 100 step. Today's the day, though. We spin the wheel. Each person, I think I got 5. Yeah, I got 5. You got 4. Don't need to introduce them all, but let's spin. You get a veto if you don't like the first one, but you have to take the second one. This is what we're playing for. This is the show. Go ahead and spin Neil's wheel. Oh, that's a good one.
Wedge.
Yeah, explain it. What do you think? You got 75 yards with
into a
wedge.
7.5 foot net, and it's about a 75% wedge shot. I think I could do it in 75 shots, but I've played one round of golf, and who knows? Maybe the weather's terrible next Monday night. Maybe it's windy. So yeah.
Are you going to stick with it, or are you going to spin again?
Sticking. That's
sticking. All right, nice. Yeah. I love watching golf shots. That's awesome. You're probably a better golfer than John Metler. So 75 shots to hit something from 75 yards away into a 7.5 foot net. Yeah,
I guess
lots of 75s.
Radius, yeah, you know.
Yeah, for sure. All
good. The size of a hula hoop, probably.
No, I like that. We'll take that. All right, let's spin my wheel. I think I've perfectly spun twice every week. Producer Mick usually tells me what I can or cannot do. That's on the red side. 30 liners at third. Producer Mick's going to tell me to spin again.
Spin again.
Yeah, he's already come in.
Again. Who's hitting the liners if you do have to do it?
Adult. Like those would have been like adult, like a guy who plays a lot of softball from 65 feet with a helmet on and a jock. Like that's
nice.
Yeah. All right, spin again.
It's not a bad one, though.
No, it isn't a bad one, but you got to fill the wheel with some things. Well, you can't do that again. Have we ever done that? The double spin? No, we voided it the first time. We're sorry. I apologize. You got to spin it again. Once you void it, you void it. Oh, shit. Oh, so this is almost where it all started. I can't leave a bowling alley until I bowled 200. Last time I did this was a failed challenge before we started this show. I was there for like 3.5 hours. It cost me $200 to bowl. And the longer you bowl, the more it hurts the body. Watching someone bowl, also very unathletic. So my Monday next week is set. I will be bowling. I can't. Oh, man, I'll have to juggle my schedule. It's very difficult, Neil, to tell your wife you can't do something. You can't pick up the kids or go to a baseball game because
you lost at your job.
Yeah, it's it. So I really don't want that one. That one sucks. It really does suck. And it's like throwing a kettlebell, lifting a kettlebell like 500 times. We'll figure that one out as we go, but at least I got a spot. So golf for you, bowling for me. Let's actually do the thing that this thing's about. As we see JPC fourth jump in the chat. Blister said, yeah, it was awful. Especially when you don't have your own ball. Baseball picks. 3 baseball plays each. Let's run them down. And it gets a little strategic as the week goes on. But right now, everybody at 0. Let's start off with my first pick, and then I'll jump over to you. We start off with O'Neill Cruz. Over 1.5 total bases. Plus 120. That's going to be my
show,
first
man. Little show. Little Leahy show. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Oh, check this one out. I'm going to do a wraparound. Look what you made me do, Randy.
It's the Leahy show. Why is it the Leahy show? Because if you know anything about Kyle Leahy, he might be one of the worst pitchers in baseball, second last in blast contact percentage, and he's facing a guy on the other side who hits righties well, who has one of the fastest swings in all of baseball, number 3 swing behind Junior Caminero. I think that's it. If speed's your angle, he fits it. Kyle Leahy, like I said, just it's a spot where O'Neill could get maybe 5 at-bats. He might go single, but this is a guy who hits extra base hits. I have him for a home run already in my home run article this morning. And if Leahy exits early, which he usually does, Cruz will see a St. Louis Cardinals bullpen that ranks 25th in ERA, and their lefties suck. That's the only thing that scares me versus Cruz. Those lefties, but plus money, O'Neill Cruz over 1.5 total bases, plus 120. Your first pick on the show, you jump in here, you say, let's go. I'm going to back Nick Martinez as my first guy. So confidence in a guy who maybe should be hit around a bit more, but talk to me about Ray's money line, Neil.
Yeah, well, in particular, I really like the Tampa Bay offense, 10th in WOBA against righties, and they strike out at the lowest percentage in the league. I also don't think that Tanner Bybee's healthy. His velocity tipped down just a little bit in his last start. He's getting teed up with the 53.2% hard hit rate this year. Remember, he exited his first start with right shoulder inflammation. So this is more about a bet on the Tampa Bay Rays offense taking care of business. And you just brought up a great player in the middle of their lineup while you're talking about O'Neill Cruz. And I also like the Andy Diaz and Jonathan Aranda. Some big bats there. I think they tune up BB.
I think there's a good point you bring up there. If you look at it, I like looking at the BlastCon numbers, which measures swing speed per their swing that they get off. Some guys don't get their best swings off versus good pitchers, and their square up percentage. And right now, Tanner Bybee ranks in the bottom 15 of all qualified starters right now, which is a low mark. And we'll talk about Zach Littell and how terrible he is. Zach Littell, one spot better than Aranda. Home run is on my card from Nick Porto. Appreciate the jump. If you're in the chat, let us know what you're betting on today. Ooh, we go to now this is I get the benefit. You put in your picks first. I saw something. I'm like, that was an angle I wanted. I didn't want to pick the same thing. You got a good price, but I'm going to go a different thing. I go on Luis Robert Jr. and Brett Beatty over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs each, plus 210. We're going with the 4 and the 5 hitters for the Mets and the stack. You need to bet against Zach Littell today. Like, there's no reason not to. Yes, the Mets just got swept by the Rockies and things are bad, but Zach Littell, 9 home runs allowed over his last 3 starts, 11 on the season. His leash is long. Why? Why, Josh? Why is Zach Littell getting 94 pitches? Because the Washington bullpen is one of the worst. Bottom 2, Houston and Washington, 2 worst bullpens in all of baseball. They don't want to go to it. Zach Littell says, I'll throw 90. I'll get hit around. Lefties have 9 home runs off him already, so I'll take 1 lefty. I'll take 1 righty. Hopefully they stack. And I had to look into ChatGPT and give me some motivating speeches for the Mets, because coming off that Rockies series, things are grim. Momentum doesn't require perfection, just continuation. Situations change, effort stacks, time passes. What matters is staying in long enough for the odds to shift in your favor. And I think ChatGPT knows who it's talking to. This is a spot where if you get mowed down by Zach Littell, it's going to be worse than losing to Colorado in 3 straight games. You're staying on that same angle, same price, might have moved, but Juan Soto is a great target today as well.
Yeah, and he's been back 5 games. He has 3 hits. He hasn't scored a run. He hasn't driven in a run yet. Obviously, I mean, I'd put him in the top 3 hitters in baseball, and potentially he hasn't even hit his prime yet, which is exciting. Dating back to the beginning of last season, he's got 1,000 OPS, a 420 WOBA against righties. You mentioned Littell. He's given up a 501 WOBA to left-handed hitters this season. He's getting waxed. So, I noticed your play, and it didn't surprise me that you went that way. But yeah, I'm definitely happy to lay a little bit of juice there with Soto, just because he's not going to put up donuts in the runs and RBI columns very much longer.
No, and he's getting on base with walks too, which can help you. Yeah. But it also is a day where weather is tough. If you're just going to the weather and taking a look, where are my matchups today? You're seeing 40s, you're seeing 50s. It's a cold snap on the East Coast. There is some rain coming, and there's more wind blowing in than there is blowing out. So tough spots just to find environmentally. But let's go to a spot where actual winds are blowing out, Houston at Baltimore, and we're going polar bear home run, because last time I made bets and I didn't include a home run, John Metler came at me on the top ropes on vacation and said, that's weak, but not as weak as a Pete Alonso plus 490 home run. The weather, as I said, shifting again, but Camden Yards remains solid, setting for right-handed power, wind blowing out. Alonso also carries 33%. Oppo field fly ball rate in Camden Yards, one of the shallowest right field fences per the bat. The matchup, Ten Kai Wen is a guy, if you knew last year, pitched for the Giants, he was terrible. This year, he's pitching very well for Houston in a middle relief role, multiple innings. But guess what? He has a 154 BABIP, 100% left on base percentage. And when you add those things together, you're probably talking about a guy who's pitching about 14 tiers above his numbers. Give me this spot, because the only time Alonso has faced him in one at bat took him deep. Also, they could be mentioned it off the top too. Nats, find that bullpen, and it's something we probably don't price in a lot in terms of having to face maybe a crappy starter and then 2 at-bats versus a bullpen. Nats bullpen's terrible, but the Houston Astros bullpen has the worst ERA in all of baseball. They're overused. Starting pitchers just continue to get hurt, and now we're getting like a middle reliever coming in. Doubt he gets his 12 outs, gets beat around. Pete Alonso, probably market, gets his 2 bases, gets his 3 bases, but probably doesn't get that home run. But $4.90 is a good price for him. And finally, someone got to Mason Miller.
Yeah.
It took a long time. I'm not sure what it did to his Cy Young odds, but the Cubbies finally stacked 2 runs off him yesterday and are looking for some more, and you're on their team total over.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they brought back up to 7 after a little bit of a slump over the weekend, the final 2 games against the Dodgers, but they're averaging 6.1 runs per game with the best WOBA in baseball during their 13-6 run. San Diego's got Walker Buehler on the hill. Fastball velocities at a career low. 4 of his 6 pitch offerings have negative pitch values, Fangraphs, and the over has hit for the Chicago Cubs, their team total, in 17 of their past 24 games. So they're rolling. They got a deep lineup. Do you know who I wanted to put on this show? And I went to Soto, the Moses Ballesteros. That guy goes line to line, hits to all fields. He looks like the big dumper, but I don't think he's going to have that much power. But Moses Ballesteros, he's a guy I think that's really going to start to be a good pick in that 1.5 or 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs market. He's slashing.
Yeah, I don't know, because there is a drop off in the market once you go to, I think some of the Soto prices today, it was all over the place. When you did submit them, Bet99 did have that minus 130 price, but you were down at minus 165 at other places. That hit, runs, RBI market is a little tougher. Usually get plus money on the total basis, but if you can find someone who's a little mispriced, that's crawling his way up to the lineup, that's maybe hitting 6, maybe hitting 5, that's priced a little differently, and you're getting even money or plus money, that's a good spot. So appreciate that tip. Nick Porto also has the same home run card. Well, guess what, Nick Porto? My home run picks have been awful this year. The weather hasn't helped, but I don't know how well it does for us today. But those are my 3 picks. Those are Neil's 3 picks. The punishments are in for week 5 for the Pickoff. I can't leave a bowling alley until I've bowled a 200. Sounds easy. Tried it. Not easy. And that's coming from a guy who said he could hit 20 free throws. And you got to drop 75 feet, 75 hits, hit a net with your wedge. 75. I would put the number, I'd put that number 55.5.
I could take 155, bud.
I know, but like you said, could be a rainy, windy day. You don't know what's happening out there. Yeah,
exactly.
I appreciate it.
Anyway, we'll see. It'll be good. I've never, to be honest, I don't practice a ton anyway, but I've never sat there and hit at a target over and over. You kind of move around. So it could be a little more challenging than you think. But I'm looking forward to it. So
yeah, you have no baseline for this.
I'm not going to lose, so it doesn't matter. I'm going to enjoy you doing some bowling, bud.
Yeah, Pete Alonso might have something to say about that, and I'll let you submit your picks first so I can just back them up on the same way I did with the Soto and the other stuff.
I get my work done, bud.
Yeah. Today's thoughts today. Washington bullpen stinks. Their starting pitcher also stinks. Houston bullpen stinks. Their starter stinks. Light it up. And Leahy as well. So there's your 3 targets. I really like those 3 games if you're targeting some offense in a weird setting day. Look that way. But we're back again tomorrow. 3 picks each. Punishments are in. Mondays off. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday show. Picks are in Friday. Let's go. We'll have 12 picks and see who's the winner at the end of the week. Josh Ingles, Neil Parker, the Pickoff from Covers. We'll see you then tomorrow at noon. Cheers.